Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I am Patricia Cofrestone, and I will be serving as the worship associate this morning. Our theme today is covenant and individualism. While we are welcoming all of you through the magic of Zoom, if you have your own chalice at home, get it and have it handy so we could light our chalices together at the appropriate time. We also invite you to consider leaving your video on. It is lovely to see everyone's faces. For those less familiar with Zoom, you can choose either the speaker view, which will bring a larger image of whomever is speaking, or the gallery view, which will show thumbnails, images of everybody on the call. We're going to begin our worship as a community of all ages. Please join singing along with hymn 1037. Take a big breath, stretch, and sing We Begin Again in Love. Words will appear on your screen.
Good morning, everybody. Please read and sing along with me. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For the selfishness that set us apart and alone, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For losing sight of our unity, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For these and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
If you're visiting today, we are so glad that you're here and hope that you will enjoy your time with us this morning. At this challenging time, we come together to reaffirm our commitment to each other as one world, one community, recognizing that we are in this life together no matter what. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a responsibility to give voice to the moral values in which our faith is grounded, not only with a statement of conscience, but through acts of conscience that honor the values we espouse. We welcome and affirm people of all ages, abilities, races, ethnicities, gender identities, sexual orientations, family structures, and political views. What binds us together as a faith community is not a creed, but the power and sacredness of a covenant based on unconditional love. We are an active congregation, and there are many ways to keep informed. Our newsletter, the website, the newly weekly order of service announcement, and the quarterly magazine Dialogue. If you're a visitor, we encourage you to sign up for our weekly online newsletter and emails by sending an email to office@uufsd.org. office@uufsd.org, and give our administrator, Tracy, your contact information. Although we are not physically together, our pastoral care team is still here for you. If you're in need of pastoral care, please email pastoralcare@uufsd.org and provide your contact information. And if you are comfortable, please state your needs and we will help you. It will help us respond to you. Again, the email is on the screen. Today, I would like to bring your attention to 5 announcements. Please find all the details to register or participate in the Friday newsletter. The first event is continuing the conversation on racial justice and racism at this time. Please stay on after the coffee hour today. There will be breakout sessions from 11:45 to 12:45, and Joe will be coordinating that. Then the next event is a great news for all of us. Sacred Circles are back. Please sign up to participate. There are small groups that meet to explore themes of renewal, gratitude, adaptability, when things fall apart, individualism versus collectivism, etc. Sacred Circles will start in October, and the deadline to register is October 4th. Me and White Supremacy. On October 4th at 4 p.m., please join the Racial Justice Task Force as they start to read and have a series of discussions about me and white supremacy. This is by Laila Zad. An insightful and interesting journey of understanding white privilege and what it means to participate in white privilege. Next Sunday, this is pet lovers are going to love this. Our service will be Blessing of the Animals in honor of the feast date of St. Francis of Assisi and our 7th principle. Please send a photo of your animal friend with their name and your name to Joe Cantrell's email address. Joe Cantrell is JOE@JOECANTRELL.net. And the final announcement is, well, everybody knows we have elections coming up, and UUFSD members are helping to get out the vote. They're working with the national organization, UU the Vote, and they are well organized, they're nonpartisan, and we really need you. So please participate and contact Wenda Alvarez for details. Thank you.
Buenos días. Bienvenidos a nuestro servicio de adoración virtual. Thank you for your patience with my learning Spanish. Good morning. I am the Reverend Joe Green, your settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of San Dieguito. I am grateful to be with you this morning. Until we are able to meet in person, we are virtually worshiping together. Greetings to you all. As Unitarian Universalists, we welcome all who may be curious about our faith. We may not offer a perfect welcome, but our hearts reside in our belief in Unitarian Universalism and we strive daily to overcome those systemic biases that we swim in this country. We offer to our members and friends the opportunity to search for your highest self and are here to aid you in finding it, whatever that may mean to you. In this loving community, your certainties, doubts, fears, and trepidations are all welcome. May you come to know deeply what those are and where your life's journey may lead you. I am grateful this morning that you are here, that you are curious and ever searching, and hopefully that in this community, you will find that deeper meaning you are searching for. This morning, I hope that I can convey a larger sense of hope than many of us are feeling. What do we do when things don't go our way? Over and over, I am hearing from so many about how our world has changed, about how America has lost its way, about how morality has been tossed to the wayside, that there's not a thing we can do about it. This morning, let us all consider when we are in situations to look at what our options are, to pick our battles, as one of my mentors used to say, and to cooperate without giving up our values. Let us look at how we can covenant with others and retain our own integrity and sense of self. I am reminded of one of my favorite poems that I will relay to you now. It is by Alberto Rios, the State Poet Laureate of Arizona, entitled, "When Giving is All We Have." We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater from the difference. Alberto Rios. May we learn how to give without giving away ourselves. To be in covenant with one another means we need to contribute something, to possibly give up something we like or want that isn't very important, so that someone else can get something they like or want. It means that each person can then be satisfied to a large degree, can work together and live alongside each other peacefully. May we learn how to give without giving ourselves away. May it be so. Blessed be. In past congregations, we have honored those First Nations who had held this land before we appropriated it. I will now give a land acknowledgement and light this candle for the Kumeyaay Nation, on whose land we now occupy. You may say the words with me if you choose, as they will be printed on the screen. On behalf of UUFSD, I take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we stand today as the traditional home of the Kumeyaay people and of all tribes and bands within the Kumeyaay Nation. It holds to our principles to honor the history and work in the present and future with our Native neighbors.
One way we affirm our connection is through rituals like chalice lighting. The Unitarian Universalist flaming chalice represent our shared history, hope, and the commitment to our principles and values of our faith that joined us together. I invite everybody that wishes to join in lighting a chalice or a candle as a symbol of peace. You're invited to turn on the video and hold up your chalice to your camera so we can share our light together. The words today for lighting the chalice are from Robin Gray. By the light of this chalice, we prepare for the future. We prepare ourselves for the times of triumph and the times of trial that might come. We prepare ourselves to be present to one another with loving hearts, even in the most difficult of times. We prepare ourselves to make the connections that will lift us out of isolation and prepare the path of justice and equality. I will now light the chalice. And I join, and you could do the same. Please join in singing our centering hymn, Spirit of Life, followed by reciting our covenant. The words to both will be appear on your screen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
May love be the spirit of this congregation. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our covenant.
Good morning. Today's story is to highlight the fact that we need to work to get some concessions, but if we work together, we can get the right kind of concessions. Today's book is Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type by Doreen Cronin. Farmer Brown has a big problem. His cows like to type, and all day long he hears, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. At first he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. It was bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn, and now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike, and they left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. And the next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer, and they left a new note on the barn door. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. And in the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo, moo, moo. Cows that type? Hens on strike? Whoever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. He got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting, and all the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning, and he handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided that this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Oh, they got their electric blankets, and that's so cute. The next morning, he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring, and we would like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Clickety-clack, quack. Clickety-clack, quack. Clickety-clack, quack. At the fellowship, you will notice some beautiful new signs, and they were done by Blake Brandley. And I hope that you enjoy this little mini slideshow. And I will read the words that Blake has written about that. Yes, perfect. One of the final steps in achieving Eagle rank, the highest rank for Scouts, is to choose a service project for the benefit of my community. Similar to my Scout training, the RE program at UUFSD has taught me so much about being a good person. So when the time came for me to perform my Eagle service project, I knew I wanted to do something for UUFSD and heard there was a need for directional signs to help parents and kids find their way around campus. I hope everyone likes the new handmade RE signs, and thank you, Allison and UUFSD, for all the support. Really, Blake, the thanks go out to you and your beautiful, incredible family that we are so blessed to have in UUFSD and in the religious education program.
Thank you, Allison. That was a wonderful story, and I'm so grateful for Blake and his family too. We now enter into the traditional element in this service, a time for us to share our joys, sorrows, concerns, and transitions. This morning, we will take a couple of minutes to allow for all of you to share a significant event that may have happened to you this week. For all others, it will be a time of reflection where you can contemplate this past week and where you may discover you may want to share something with the congregation. After the music ends, I will read those writings from the chat box, and Patricia will drop a stone into water for each writing. Let us now enter into a time of reflection and writing. from Allison and also from me. Alondria E. Williams was a frontline organizer for the National Black Lives Matter movement. They were the first co-moderator of color for the UUA and a beacon for our faith as we move towards true liberation. They died unexpectedly this week, and I cannot believe they are gone. They shone brighter than the sun, and I feel the overwhelming darkness now. I will miss them so incredibly much. That would be Alondria. Catherine Sturch, sorrow about the wildfire damage to Shamala Mountain Retreat Center, where I have attended meditation programs. John Post has a joy. He finished a 5-month project early and on budget, the largest project of his life. LD is outraged about the Breonna Taylor verdict, as are millions. Hudson turns 50 today. Happy birthday. Turner writes, so much joy that our Camp de Benneville Pines was spared in the recent fires and sorrow for the loss of a firefighter in that effort. Lisa Schaefer shares, my daughter turns 39 this week and I'm sorry I won't be able to be with her since I would have to travel and don't feel safe flying with COVID. Eberly Barnes has taken on a cat who is highly traumatized and has been under her bed for a week. May he feel safe to come out soon and may all go well. Ron DeMuth has sorrow over RBG's passing. I'm sure we are all feeling it. Angie Knappenberger writes, both our sons were exposed independently to COVID last week through their work. Danforth tested negative. And Greg Brown and his family wish Greg Brown a happy birthday today also. Poppy has had heart surgery and is still on oxygen 24/7. It is difficult and frustrating. Please think good thoughts for me, from Poppy. Nicholas Baltons writes, sorrow that I have, it's not make everyone's sickness and weather in our life. I would like to add some words from Alondria Williams that she said. She was a member of the East Tennessee UU congregation. She said, we wear our faith as tattoos on our bodies and in our hearts, as testaments to the blood, tears, dreams, and inspirations of our community ancestors and elders. She basically gave her life for this faith, and we are forever grateful. I also would like to have a stone put for the 200,000 plus people who have died from COVID in this country. Some I feel were unnecessarily stricken. And I would like to have Patricia drop a stone to continue to mourn with the families of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Rayshard Brooks, Jacob Blake, and all people of color who are continuing to die in circumstances where white people do not. And lastly, may we drop one last stone for all the joys, sorrows, concerns, and transitions that may not have been expressed today, that may not be even held in this community, but are held in our hearts. Let us pray. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, God of many names or none, we gather this morning together to get hope from each other, to share joys and to bear the sorrows that we are all facing together. This world has become extremely harsh, it feels, in the last few months and years. And it's taking its toll on many of our citizens of the world. We can at least rejoice in the fact that we have family, that we are celebrating birthdays and anniversaries and maybe even births of new members of families somewhere. And we also hold each other tight in the sorrows that we are feeling, the losses of people we don't understand why we lost. And we keep them in our hearts. For even though they may not be here with us, they are still in our hearts. They are in our memories, and we can keep them on this earth through how we do whatever it is we do. Blessed be to all. Let us enter into time of silence for meditation, reflection, or prayer by first singing our chant, Meditation on Breathing. We will then have a time of silence following, and the silence will end with the sound of a bell.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
I'd like to invite you all to sing with me now a song which has 4 Hebrew words in it. And I'll just ask for you to repeat them after me. Shir, Hadash, Kol Haaretz. And what that means, Shir Hadash is a new song, and Kol Haaretz means over all the land, around the world. This song is a few years old, and when I was thinking about the theme for this week, it just seemed to fit. So I hope you will sing it with me. The words will be on your screen. Let's sing a new song now, a song of love and hope and peace, and a song we all can sing. Let's sing a new song now that welcomes all and honors each for the peace that we can bring. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Kol haaretz, let the world sing along. Sing together, sing it loud, sing it strong. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Let's build a new world now, with room for every one of us in an ark that could weather a flood. Let's build a new world now, 'cause not one soul should have to live on a street that runs with blood. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Kol haaretz, let the world sing along. Sing together, sing it loud, sing it strong. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. As long as the moon still shines at night and the waves crash on the sand, this song is ours and the time is right to let it ring out through the land. It doesn't have to sound like this or anything you've heard before, or it can, that's up to you. Just sing the song that's in your heart. It's the song that we've been waiting for. We want to hear it clear and true. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Kol haaretz, let the world sing along. Sing together, sing it loud, sing it strong. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Kol haaretz, let the world sing along. We can change things, the time won't be long. Shir Chadash, sing a new song. Sing a new song.
Thank you, Marshall. That was wonderful. One of the great tenets of Unitarian Universalism is our great belief in covenants. We create covenants for our congregations, between ministers and congregations, between ministers and ministers, on committees, and with each other sometimes. We hold covenants in as high a regard as we do the 7 principles and 6 sources of our faith. At the same time, UUs are proud to hold up their individualism, how unique each one of us is, how we hold our own beliefs and values up to a higher standard than we think others do. We attract those who think like us. We revel in the fact that we are different. We are proud of that, proud of how we can stick out in a crowd, how we hold ourselves and others up as role models of decency and morality and right convictions. We know we do this and we're pretty proud of it. At least almost all the UUs that I know are proud of being Unitarian Universalist. They are proud of what they stand for and sometimes can be a bit self-righteous about it. We love our history of how we came from Transcendentalism and how our ancestors were those who made a difference. We hold up Emerson and Thoreau and Viola Liuzzo and Olympia Brown and the Sharps. We are quick to point out that the moral arc of the universe phrase was paraphrased and was not first said by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but by Theodore Parker, one of our evangelical Unitarian ancestors. We love our individualism and delight in pointing out how our ancestors have shaped history. So my question is, when we covenant with one another, are we losing our individualism and acquiescing to others? Do we feel like we are giving up something instead of giving something? Do we resent it a little bit that we've had to give up something that feels like it's part of our core? And do we hold that resentment later? Well, let's look at covenants. How about the one we said just this morning? May love be the spirit of this congregation. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our covenant. Are we doing this? I believe that love is the spirit of this congregation. Every congregant I have met so far loves this fellowship and gives much service and love to it. Is the quest for truth really its sacrament? I love the idea. The quest for truth is idealistic and noble and honest. It shows that we as a congregation believe in the truth as our highest ideal, that with our covenant with each other, we will always tell the truth. And yet, as I know we are all human beings, sometimes the truth is waylaid by the need to be right, or the ego to be important, or the pride we have unable to admit we made a mistake. That's what gets in the way of truth. When I was in graduate school working towards my counseling degree, we were required to do much reflection within ourselves, just like seminary. I had a tenuous relationship with my parents for most of my life. They were basically from the old country, even though they were born here. Both of them learned English as a second language and were raised in households that spoke their native tongue. They learned English when they started school. So to them, everything American was the best. I never learned their native languages, which saddened me. But when I would ask to learn as a young girl, they would say to me, "Who are you going to talk to? You're in America. You don't need to know that." And I and my brother never did. That was their truth, to fully engulf themselves in all things American. And they didn't question. So in graduate school, I would reflect on incidents in my past, and there was one story that kept coming up. My bachelor's degree was in art, and I went an extra year to get certified to teach, as my father told me that the only thing I could do as an artist to make a living and get a pension was to teach. He was a custodian in an elementary school in our town, had never finished high school. My mother never even attended high school. So it was so important that I go to college. I was managing a picture frame shop when a friend of mine who was also managing a picture frame shop in the same chain suggested one day that we go into business for ourselves. I had been unable to secure a permanent teaching position at that time because of the budget cuts that were eliminating a lot of art curriculums in junior high and high schools where I was certified to teach. So I was excited that she felt I would be a good business partner for her, and we began to explore our options. We found a couple of locations that we felt would be wonderful, and then knew that we would have to approach our parents to co-sign a loan with us, as we didn't have the credit. And it was also the late 70s when women weren't allowed to have much credit. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you helped make that happen. So I went to my parents and told them of our plans, and after asking questions, they were very reluctant to co-sign anything for me. They argued with me, and at one point, my mother looked at me and said, "We will not lose our house for you." That took my breath away, as I don't think she meant it quite how she said it. But the fear was there. The fear of losing something so dear to them that they could not risk it for their daughter. My friend eventually just opened up her shop herself and had it for many years until I think she recently retired. It hurt for a long time. And when I began to reflect in my graduate program, I could understand a little better what they may have been going through. They had come from nothing and had worked very hard to get what they had gotten and were terrified of losing it. I felt I found the truth and could understand a little better how they had been thinking. They couldn't give because no one had given to them. They couldn't give what they had to give either. They couldn't give out of fear of losing something. Even though in a way they lost a daughter that day, it was hard for me to get over the hurt for many years. They had broken what I felt was a covenant between us. When we create covenant with one another, we each give something. And we can look at it as giving something to someone else and not giving up something to get something. That is the difference between covenant and compromise. We each reach an agreement with one another without feeling like we have given up something dear to us. My parents didn't know how to covenant. In fact, they weren't the best at compromise. They were not educated by school book terms, only by walking up the ladder of life. But so many things made them afraid that they were unable to see how a covenant could be beneficial. In our congregational covenant, we don't have a lot of promises. We have a lot of ideals, models of tenets and ethics that we value, but not a direction or a course of action. We're not saying in our covenant that we will do such and such. We don't have specific behaviors or objectives. We say how we want to treat each other. To dwell together in peace can mean many things. How do we define peace? Can we still disagree and have peace? If we hurt someone's feelings, are we still at peace? As humans, I think our feelings interrupt rational thinking and many times takes over what our next action would be. When we look at our covenant, say for example, we have a disagreement with another member of this fellowship, does our covenant tell us what to do? No, it really doesn't. It says to help one another. How do we do that? So we don't have specific instructions on how to treat each other. We have a list of ideals which are wonderful to have, but does not give us specific direction or course of action. We can ask each other. If someone hurts someone else's feelings and they don't even know they did that, what is the next course of action? I would think that the person who feels hurt would go to the person they feel hurt them and talk it out. It doesn't help for someone to go to a third person and tell them that this other person hurt their feelings. That's actually called triangulation and only complicates the situation and doesn't resolve anything. To go to the person that you feel hurt you requires some courage, some patience, some tolerance, and some peace on your part. And for the other person, it also asks of them to be tolerant, to have courage to listen, to have peace in their hearts through the hurt. Hopefully, then each party can tell the other how they feel and what they can do about it. It sounds easy, doesn't it? What I've discovered over the years is that our egos get in the way. Our pride gets in the way. Our feelings that we are being stepped on or somehow not recognized as the human being we are gets in the way. We can get defensive, we can get angry, we can get depressed when someone tells us that we have hurt their feelings when we know we didn't mean to. It's not attacking our individuality at all. When we have these situations, we need to remember that we are not being attacked if we are the person who has done the harm. We need to remember that we still can retain our individualism by listening to another. We will not lose the uniqueness we feel we have when we admit a wrongdoing. And this is mainly about white people too. It does not diminish us as a person to admit we made a mistake or caused a harm like a microaggression we didn't intend to cause. And as my mentor told me long ago, pick your battles. See how important this stand is to you before you use up precious resources in this relationship. How important is your individualism to you when you need to work side by side with this person, maybe for years to come? Is your uniqueness so important that you are willing to give up a relationship for it? When we have a covenant with another person, we are asking that we each agree on how we wish to treat each other. When I offered my covenant with you 2 weeks ago, I agreed to minister with you, for I see ministry as a team effort. I covenanted to listen deeply to each one of you, to not harm you and to heal you how I could. And I added that we will all disagree with each other at some point, and that we can disagree while still being agreeable. I hold those actions deep in my heart and hope that you do too. I don't feel that I gave up my individualism by agreeing to minister with you and not to you. So what circumstances cause you to feel you are giving up your individualism? If we were all together, I would have you call out your thoughts. It's too difficult on Zoom to really have a back and forth like that. I can give a hypothetical instance. Say someone wants to have a particular architectural statue put up on the grounds of our campus, and many other people don't like how it looks and really don't want it to be displayed. But the person who loves it has decided that come hell or high water, this sculpture will be put up no matter what. It's that important to them. They're going to try everything they can to have it displayed, that it reflects their deep feelings about the importance of Unitarian Universalism to them, and are willing to go to any lengths to have it displayed. They are feeling that their individualism is being attacked, that somehow the displaying of this sculpture is tied into who they are, and that somehow a part of them will be lost if they give in and say they will not display it. when everyone else is saying it is for the good of the community to not display it. They have tied their identity into the displaying of this sculpture. It may not be the best example, I'm trying, but I'm hoping to show how our identities can become tied into our covenants. That if we feel we are giving up something to create peace and have a covenant, that then we are losing a part of ourselves and our individuality, and that is not true. And that is not a part of covenant. These days, we as Americans have lost sight of everyone as people. We are all taking sides now and feeling the need to defend that side no matter what in so many different areas. It's too hard to count. So in this atmosphere, it is very difficult to feel that we have peace around us. It is very difficult to feel that we can reach agreement with anyone who might not think as we do. As is attributed to Frank David, our Transylvanian theological ancestor said, "We need not think alike to love alike." This phrase is usually used in the past to show our tolerance for same-sex marriage or transgendered people, but we could use it in this political year. I just moved into a new neighborhood where I don't know any of my neighbors. I've been thinking about putting up a political sign, but I am aware that I am afraid to do that. I don't know the political bent of my neighbors in my HOA. And already my HOA president, who lives across the street from me, has told me that we're not allowed to put up signs. Now, I've since been told differently by someone on the Nextdoor app but I haven't decided yet if this is my fight to defend. I feel I am in covenant with my new neighbors right now. I'm getting along with everyone I've met. If I put up a sign supporting a candidate, will that jeopardize my standing with my neighbors who I barely know? Is my individuality being jeopardized by disallowing the support of my candidate? How important is my need to place a candidate's name on my lawn? Is it more important than the peaceful camaraderie I have with my neighbors right now? Am I certain it will break the unspoken covenant we have? I haven't decided just yet. If I do acquiesce, will I feel that I have lost my individuality, or will I be at peace anyway? My unspoken covenant with my neighbors is very important right now. My aunt, who lives in St. Louis, loves our current president. We cannot talk politics any longer. And she used to be a Democrat, but is no longer. Yet she is like my surrogate mother, and I am not willing to risk our relationship by standing up for the integrity and decency I believe the guy in the White House lacks. I love her too much. We need not think alike to love alike. That is not more apparent than in this relationship with my aunt. And I wonder out loud if we have any Republicans in our congregation, and would they admit it if they were? We need not think alike to love alike. My parents and I were never the same after that. I felt that covenant was irrevocably broken. And at my young age, I did not know how to repair that, and they didn't either. Instead, I moved away. I guess that's one way to tackle a broken covenant. My parents have both passed away over 15 years ago now, and I have made peace with our brokenness. That's an entirely other sermon that you will hear about probably one of these days. And I hold them in love and am at peace now. So to be in covenant, in my opinion, does not cause me to lose my individuality, does not cause me to lose my uniqueness, even when I strongly disagree with another. What it has taught me, however, is that giving does not mean giving in or giving up. We need not think alike to love alike. May we learn how to give without giving away ourselves. May it be so. Blessed be.
Oh, that was very touching. Thank you. Once a month, this congregation gives our offering away to a worthy community organization. This month, the Generosity Sunday beneficiary is Voices of Our City Choir. Voices of Our City Choir was created as a way to serve the needs of the homeless population in San Diego through the healing power of music and offering a sense of community. There are currently about 250 active choir members, 2/3 of whom are either homeless or housing insecure. All monies collected today will go towards purchasing music books, headphones, and tablets. Let's watch a video of the Voices of Our City Choir during their performance and semi-finalist status in America's Got Talent show, followed by words from John Brady, their advocacy and outreach director.
Homelessness doesn't just fit one skin color, one age bracket.
It's hard trying to get it together and people look at you like you're dirt.
If it wasn't for the choir, I wouldn't be here. The choir has brought me back. And give me a moment.
What's the song you're going to do?
The choir actually wrote the song.
Oh, wow.
We have a songwriting workshop.
Okay, good.
Listen to the sound of the sidewalk. Street. Even though I'm not right back up on my feet, I'm helping myself stand up independently. I gotta keep that hope for tomorrow. With the dignity inside, once body trumps tomorrow. Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Hello, everyone. I want to share with you that each time our members watch those videos, they swell with pride. It is truly amazing that we went on to the semifinals. 3 times on national television, we were able to demonstrate that homeless people, just like everyone else, can achieve amazing things when given the chance. Our performance on America's Got Talent has brought our choir members together like never before. At the same time, during COVID, we have continued our work in new and different ways. Our once weekly in-person rehearsals have been replaced with a community garden and weekly Zoom classes, which include songwriting and dance classes, soul space for sharing and healing, piano lessons, advocacy training, and online choir rehearsals. We have supported our members by providing keyboards, laptops, and internet access, as well as regular check-ins in person and remotely via Zoom or telephone. We have continued to provide our members with community, case management, rental assistance, and hotel rooms for medical emergencies. During this crisis, that support system has been needed more than ever. At the same time, we've continued to get more people off the streets and housed, with a total of 65 members in permanent housing or shelter to date. Our advocates continue to speak at community meetings, city council, and the county board of supervisors. We successfully advocated for the convention center shelter operation, which has safely served over 3,500 people and housed nearly 700 to date. During COVID, our weekly in-person rehearsal outreach was replaced with a 5-day-a-week phone charging station downtown. We are also operating a food distribution and home delivery in partnership with the Living Water Church of the Nazarene and the San Diego Food Bank. These two operations serve over 1,000 people weekly with 3,000 to 5,000 meals, including snacks and water daily. In prior years, as much as half of the choir's budget has been generated through performance fees. This year, we've been able to supplant much of that with grants and donations from people like yourselves. Your contributions will allow us to continue and expand our work, changing the lives of our unsheltered neighbors through love, music, and community, and we are truly grateful. This year, our message of love, strength, and hope has reached more people than ever, and all of that is possible because of people like yourselves. Thank you, and God bless you for making our members a benefactor of your Generosity Sunday.
If you wish to make a one-time contribution today, please go to the UUFSD website and click on the Give Online button that is at the top as shown on the slide, and then select Give to Sunday Offering. We will show this slide again at the end of the service, so you will have additional time to offer your generosity. Thank you so much. As we move to the close of this worship service, let us invoke the spirit, the learning, and ideals of this morning and this community by singing the closing hymn 1008, When Our Heart is in the Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Please join me now in extinguishing our chalices and reciting the words shown on but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Beloved community, I am so grateful to be able to share time with you each week. And I hope that during this week you can take with you Frank David's words, "We need not think alike to love alike." We need that right now so desperately. This world is very divided. Our country is almost feeling like it's dissolving. And so let's take a look this week at what we can do to change that path. Go out into the world this week and see what it is you can do, even with one person, to spread the love, to give without giving up or giving in. Blessed be. Go in peace.
Now we invite you to listen to our postlude, Gymnopedy number 1 by Eric Satie. After the postlude, the chat function will be turned back on and the offering slide will be shown again, while the breakout rooms are being organized for us to join for our virtual coffee hour and connection.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all again. So before we get to our virtual coffee hour breakout rooms, I have a couple of things to share. First of all, I wanted to put up once again the slide with the information on how to give. There's the Give Online button. The website has been revamped, so you can you have a lot more choices in how you want to direct your giving. There's also the text to give, the number there, 844-967-2048. You can also pay by PayPal at paypal@uufsd.org. And of course, if you want to mail a check in,